Back in 1992, can you remember what you were doing? Because I certainly can. I was flicking through the pages of a magazine and falling in love. But wait, it was a car. Not just any car, a Subaru WRX.
By 1999, the word came that the new generation WRX was on the way. So in that year, here in Australia, 3,997 WRXs were sold, and so the tradition continued. From 1999 to 2007, the WRX had used the same underpinnings with a few tweaks along the way.
Since the day of release, the WRX really has been the jack of all trades, doing anything and everything, except mountain climbing, that is. 1994 was the actual year that the WRX was released here in Australia, and ever since then it's been wowing crowds and turning heads. So that's when the rules of the game changed and the new generation, the MY08, was actually born. Now, there have been a lot of mixed opinions, but no one can deny that the WRX had taken a large step forward. The most notable upgrade with the new WRX would have to be the extra wide shape it now has, both in the sedan and the hatch. It now sits 1.5 centimetres wider than its outgoing model. Sadly for the WRC fan and us all, gone are the big style rally fog lights that we're used to. They've been replaced by these nice, neat looking fog lights that apparently only should be used during fog or inclement weather. The new WRX looks aggressive and muscular with that ready to pounce sort of look that we haven't seen in the WRX brand since the MY07. The rear end of the WRX would have you thinking you're pulling up on an STI, as it's gained the same rear bar as the STI has. It's certainly muscular, but also has function and form. It also has a nice deck lid spoiler with an integrated tail light, and it has nice chrome dual exhaust down the bottom here, and I'm pleased to say that the burble is definitely back. The WRX has a 2.5 litre double overhead cam 4-cylinder boxer turbo engine that puts out an impressive 195 kilowatts or 265 horsepower. Now that's a massive power upgrade for the WRX, because it wasn't that long ago that the WRX STI had similar power figures. Even with the WRX's wider, fatter guards, it still proves to be quite agile and frisky on the road, weighing in at 1,400 kilos, just a smidgen heavier than the outgoing MY08. It's easily compensated by the extra beams that Subaru provided under the bonnet. First thing I noticed jumping into the WRX was the actual shortness of the dash, which creates a lot more space. Talking about space, the headroom, there's certainly a lot more headroom, certainly up the front and for the passengers in the back. So leather is a common feel throughout the entire cabin. Leather steering wheel, leather gear knob for the 5-speed gearbox, and also these nice leather seats which has STI pink stitching, just to let you know the heritage of the WRX. So what sort of person does it take to fall in love with the new MY11 WRX? Let's go and meet Jared and find out.
Well, I'm originally from Perth. I moved over to Melbourne about 8 years ago, just to try something different. It's a bit more exciting over in Melbourne than Perth. It's a bit laid back. I'm married, been married for 11 years now to my wife Kathy. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. The hours are pretty good. That allows me to travel a fair bit, which we go overseas quite regularly, and works pretty good.
And when you travel overseas, would you be taking in the WRC?
I haven't. I've gone to one New Zealand rally. That was in 2008. I'm going to America in about 3 weeks to see one of the local rallies over there. So that'll be interesting to see.
And Ken Block, what are your thoughts on him?
He's a bit different, but he's getting the World Rally sort of name out there. So hopefully it brings more people to the sport.
And I believe you've got a keen car collection at home.
My collection's fairly big. It's probably worth about 20 grand, just off cars and memorabilia.
I understand you're a keen Subaru enthusiast and have been for some time.
Well, since I got into watching all the World Rallies, motorsport and all that kind of stuff, that's when I started collecting models and following all the rallies and going to all the local rallies in Melbourne and Perth and the World Rallies. So it helped having the World Rallies over in Perth.
So what was your previous Subaru?
I've had a 2000 model Club Spec Evo 4, and then after that I had a 2004 GT Liberty.
So how did you get to acquire this WRX?
It's an interesting story. There was a bit of an agreement with my wife Kathy. She wants to move back to Perth, and I said the only way I'll get over there is if you buy me a brand new WRX. And I rocked up to pick her up from work one day, and she wasn't there. And then I see this WRX rock up into the car park, and she was in it, had my old number plates on it, and that's how I recognised that she'd bought the car to get back over to Perth.
And have you had the opportunity yet to put the WRX through its paces?
Not really. I'd like to take it out on the track, but I don't think the wife will agree.
So what was the last WRX you had, Jared?
I've had a 2000 model Club Spec Evo 4, and just after that I had a 2004 GT Liberty.
So how do you find the difference between those two cars and the new MY11 WRX?
This is a lot faster and accelerating. Handling seems a lot better. Just the comfort in it is a lot nicer, even compared to the Liberty.
Okay. The brakes in this, you know, obviously they've moved away from the two-pot to the setup they now have. How do you find that? Is it any difference?
I haven't felt any real difference. It still feels nice and firm on the braking, although I haven't had to do any real hard sort of braking as yet. So, but it all feels good.
The cabin layout, it's quite nice, isn't it?
It's nice. It's sort of minimal, but it's got all the functions you need without getting too confusing.
And the steering wheel, it's got some functionality on that?
You got the radio and the cruise control on the sort of steering wheel, and you got the Bluetooth through the sat nav and all that, which comes in handy.
Yeah, no, that's a good feature. How do you find the GPS?
It's pretty good. It's still getting used to sort of working little bits out, but I like the function. You know, the stereo could do with it a little bit better sound and that into it, but all the functions and everything in the sat nav, I'd personally like it.
So the actual car, you know, the dimensions of the car, is it an easy car to sort of drive and zip around?
Well, we've got a sort of a fairly narrow sort of garage area where we swing into, and it's compared to the wife's Mazda, it's a little bit sort of harder to swing in, but it's no real hassle. It still does it pretty easy.
And the power of this actual car compared to the other models that you mentioned, how do you find it?
Oh, it's 100 times better than the last model I had. It was only, both of them were only 2 litres, whereas this is a 2.5.
Yeah, the 2.5 seems to open it up a little bit more and just give you that little bit more grunt.
Oh, it's so much more responsive than the last WRX I had.
And this 5-speed compared to, say, the Evo 4 WRX that you had, how do you find that?
This one I find you can feel sort of it more through the gear stick.
Okay.
Other one felt a bit smoother, but it was quite a while ago I had it, so I may have just forgotten it.
Forgotten what it was like?
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough.
But no, it's still nice and smooth.